Welcome back to my channel, Mint with Mare. All right, you all, you asked for it. Ask and you shall receive. I had mentioned in a video about manifesting and how I like to do it. I like to do it with my clients. I have seen differences in the lives of my clients, friends of mine that all practice this as well, and for myself. And I truly believe in designing your own life, like really thinking about the kind of life that you want to live. So this is going to be like a very brief introduction to manifesting, and I will build upon this in other videos, but I want to give you the bare bones about how I view it and what I think it is. So before we get into the bare bones of manifesting, let's think about like, what even is it? What's the definition of manifesting? To manifest means to readily perceived by the senses, and especially by the sense of sight. It also can be defined as something that is easily understood and recognized by the mind. So it's leaning into the idea that there is power in how you think about things and how you see things. You can engage in manifesting, and this has nothing to do with religion or spirituality that you ascribe to. You should absolutely lean into all those things. This is just recognizing how you think about things and how to really get a good focus on what you want out of life and take the focus off of what you don't have. And I want to make note, this is strictly my opinion, my point of view, but I truly believe that manifesting isn't about material things. It's nothing to do with the material things that you want. We are all chasing feelings. So if we want a new car, we want a new car because of how we think it will make us feel. We want a new home because of how free it might make us feel. We want lots of money because of the true freedom that it might bring to us. The feeling of that freedom that we're actually chasing and that we're desiring. It's very important to note that I'm not saying that you can't desire those things, not at all. But the key to starting to manifest is to recognize and examine how the things that you are desiring makes you feel. We will talk a little bit about how you feel those true feelings living as if. So living as if you've already attained those things. You attract what you are, what you already embody. A couple of things to note though. This doesn't mean that if you've gone through trauma or you have true life circumstances that do get in the way of bettering yourself. There are people who have a lot more roadblocks just based on their skin color, of their economic circumstances that they were born into. There are some real factors here. So I'm not saying that manifesting will suddenly make your life change completely, but it's a way to look at things that then could propel you into the change that you would like to see. But it does require action behind it. But it is very good to start at this place that I'm going to talk about. So have you ever heard of that saying, what you resist persists? So the more that you don't want something to happen and you think about it and you worry about it, the more that it's consuming you and persisting in your life. So what you want to do is not focus on what you don't have or what you don't like about your life. It's focusing in on what you do and the good. Do not focus on what you don't want. Think about what you do want. And I want you to be very intentional. Be very focused on one aspect of your life to begin learning how to do this. So choose one thing that you want to focus on. So for a period of time when I first started doing this was in 2017, when I was really gripping the steering wheel on life. And I was in a position with my job and in my life where I was very financially unstable. Anyone who's ever dealt with financial issues in your life, you will know that it's one of the biggest stressors ever. It makes you feel uneasy and you're more prone to, I think, compare yourself to others and to feel really defeated in a lot of ways. So for me, I wanted to work on financial stability, opening up my own private practice, but I was really afraid of it due to healthcare and a lot of other issues. So staying at a job that was more secure was smarter financially, but yet it wasn't going to warrant a long-term benefit of happiness because I wasn't happy there. And I had a lot of people around me that did very well financially. And instead of that always lifting me up, I really looked at it as that there was something wrong with me. Why am I not able to excel? The second thing that I talk about doing is become aware of the negative talk that is blocking what you want. So I took an inventory. I wrote down all of the ways, all of the negative thoughts would pop right into my mind as soon as I saw my bank account, or as soon as I had to really think about whether to get food or skipping a meal. I mean, it was tough. It was tough at one point. And anytime I had to think about financial things, I would just go down this very negative rabbit hole. I would beat myself up. I would go into this kind of like, woe is me. Why does this have to happen to me? And giving all my energy to something that does not serve me. And it's just automatic. I mean, I think that there's conditioning that can happen from the type of environment that you're raised around. You know, I had grandparents that lived through the Great Depression, and the scarcity mindset then was passed down to my mother, and then she always embodied that, and then it was passed down to me. So even though I probably was doing much better than what I saw or felt, it's because of what I had allowed to be ingrained into my type of thinking. So the negative thinking, you've really got to look at all the ways that you are blocking this, because you are just focusing on what you don't have and why it's not fair and how limited you are. The next thing, number 3, would be to reword your thoughts. So anytime it would pop into my mind, I'm never going to get ahead, I'm always going to be in this position, I would change it to, I am going to be the first millionaire in my family. Money flows freely through me. I am safe and protected. My basic needs are being taken care of. So think about all the ways that you're blessed in your life. And I'm thinking about the fact that I have a roof over my head. I can feed myself. I have access to cleaning my clothes. Friends and family that love and support me and are rooting for me. Had so many privileges in my life, amazing things. My bare essentials are absolutely taken care of, so that negative mindset does not serve me. Never saying I desire that, I want that. It is I am is so powerful. So whenever you have a negative thought popping into your head, you want to reframe it and use I am powerful. I am someone that makes so much money. I am someone who has a career that I've always wanted. Instead of saying I want abundance, say I am abundance. Or saying I want love, saying I am love. I am full of possibilities. And there's also a great app that's called I Am, and it's one that I make everybody download because it gives you reminders all throughout the day in different areas of your life that you choose that will keep you focused with reframing your thoughts and stating back, I am whatever it is. And I know that this sounds really simple and it might seem a little corny or weird to you all, but I promise you it is what you've got to do to move in the way of manifesting. Feeling abundance, being an abundant person, whether it's money or material things, living as if you already have it is a feeling, and it typically feels good because you've worked hard for it and that you have stepped right on into it, and that means that there has to be work that's done behind it. Because when you believe that you are abundant or that you are love and you step into that feeling, it makes you work on the things that will bring you that desired outcome because you already feel it in your bones. So it's not only just a way of thinking, but it's also a way to be motivated as well. The fourth thing I want you to do is imagine your desire happening with all of your might in both word and action as if it's already yours. So living as if you have it, and it's stepping into that feeling. So sometimes I will get onto Zillow and I'll look at a house that I would love to buy at some point in my life, even though I haven't reached that goal. And I will look at the house and I would sit and imagine what that would feel like to be in that home, down to how my shoes would sound on the floor, how the noises that I would hear outside, and I feel it and I let it take it over. I'm already smiling because I'm imagining it, like having a big beautiful garden and hearing bees buzzing and smelling the lavender that I've planted and hearing like the grass that I would plant that would sway back and forth in the wind, the big windows that I would have and the steps of my feet on the ground and the freeing feeling that I would have. I take that on and I live and I feel it as if it is mine now. And sometimes I even walk around my apartment and I feel as if I'm there already. And that is a way to manifest. And I also want you to meditate so that the wisdom that you are feeling and learning moves through you. So taking time to be still with yourself, it even can be just a minute. It can be 5 minutes just to allow yourself to notice your thoughts and what's coming up for you and how you feel, but allowing the new wisdom, the new feeling to actually evolve. And I want you to treat yourself so well. So this is self-care, which I've done a video on. I think it was my very first video.
I don't even, might cringe if I see
I
it.
talk a lot about caring for yourself, being against the hustling mentality that this world and society is pushing us to be in, and really taking care of your needs. And that can be setting boundaries and saying no to people when you feel really tired. It can be letting yourself rest. Productivity doesn't equal your worth. And it's giving yourself, like, let's say 15 minutes in between meetings and your job to get a breather and walk around outside. It's the little things that you can integrate into your life to treat yourself really well. And you're going to practice non-attachment. Why I talk about non-attachment, it's so important because oftentimes we will be the ones that will want something to happen a certain way that we want it to happen and in a certain period of time. The sooner that you realize that it's not how it works, it might not look the way you thought it would, it might not happen in the time period you thought it would. When it doesn't happen when we want it to happen, when we feel as if we want to control it, then it leads us down a spiral of doubt and negative thinking and that it'll never happen. You are releasing this desire out into the universe or to source or to God, whatever you want to view it as. You will also trust that it will unfold in divine time. So sometimes your manifestation won't happen for, let's say, 5 years, but you are not attached to it, but you are going to acknowledge it. You are going to change your wording and how you approach it. You're going to allow it to move through you, but you're also going to put it out there. I do believe in writing it down. When I did this the first time and I wanted to leave my job, someday start a family, wanted to live by the water, I wanted grass, I wanted a park, just these very simple things. And I started working through these type of steps. It was 6 months later that I had almost all of those things. And it was really creepy and really bizarre and exciting. And I think that it's important to do. And I'm actually doing this to remind myself because I think that at times we're kind of afraid of our own success or actually being able to obtain what we want. Sometimes it's easier to just imagine that, well, it'll never happen for me, so I'm just going to let it go. Don't do that. A lot of times that's stemming from being truly afraid of your power and stepping into your power. And I do believe that thoughts lead to your words and your words lead to actions. And when you start to be very intentional about how you see things, it does have the capacity to change your life. I, at one point, definitely wanted to feel more confident in who I was and what I was doing. And it's what has led me even to be doing this here. If you would have asked me 2 years ago, there's no way I would have been down to do a YouTube channel. I mean, I don't like the pressure. I don't like feeling as if I have to sell myself, or I didn't want to be perceived as like wanting to get something from this and manifesting ways to help other people. I, love it through my own practice, but I wanted to reach a wider audience. And I felt as if, a lot of the publishing companies that I had submitted my book to that had rejected me, while I did feel salty about it at the same time, that's when I came up with, okay, well then I'll just self-publish and I'll go down that route. I'll make it happen for myself. And believing now that I can truly do it and creating a platform where I can reach more people and more people maybe will want to read my words and it can possibly help them in some way. Because I have been so impacted by a lot of writers that I love, like Glennon Doyle, who wrote Untamed. I love Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart. There's also other books like Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. That's a really great book. So I'm going to go into some other books that I think are very powerful and helping with this. Instead of thinking that it's something that I could never do, I started to think, well, maybe I can make that happen. And I'm going to choose to believe that. I'm going to say to myself, I am a writer and I am someone who wants to help other people and I want to put that in action. That's what gave me the confidence to be able to even do this YouTube channel. I mean, believe me, I wouldn't have done this a couple years ago, but manifesting has truly helped and led me down a road that sometimes can be very, very surprising. Some of you already have sent me so much support verbally and financially to do self-publishing. And so again, just like I started this episode with, is ask and you shall receive. Sometimes it's very shocking, the people that end up helping you out. And there's really no shame in it. I also believe that what you want out of life The lens that you see your life really does impact what is then sent back to you. And that's also why I love the song Karma, which I want to cover in one of these videos, because when we're in a really bad place, we really can't see any good that might come our way or how things might turn around, but really working on how you view things and only the things that you can control. You can control how you feel about something and trusting that it will come back around to you. And I think that if you're here because you're a fan of Taylor Swift, you know this better than anyone. If you believe that in Taylor and Taylor's words about karma, then why wouldn't that happen for you? Like, she's no different, you know? I mean, she's a goddess and she's a genius, but we all have different powers in our own ways. We know that she's still a human and she's flawed just like the rest of us, and that's why we relate to her. So if she's able to experience karma or good things to come her way after having major problems, then why can't it happen for all of us? It definitely can. It's believing it and then following up behind with that intention and thought, word, and action. And I can go into that even more if you like. I hope you all enjoyed this. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye-bye.